Ladies and gentlemen, Kim here. Welcome to the daily update. Hope you guys had a good day trading today. Market is down a little bit there, 0.1% on the S&P. I think at one point market was up as much as 0.7%, but it looks like it deteriorated throughout the day and printed negative number there. Nasdaq is slightly green, pretty much flat. Semiconductor same. Dow down a little bit. Russell 2000 flat there. With the green print there, transport down or up 0.6%, banks flat, energy up a little bit, biotech did make a move 1% positive. You can see the healthcare is pretty much flat there, home builders down about 0.5%, utilities 0.2%, retail same, emerging market is up 0.7%, Bitcoin is down 4%, gold, silver, miners they're up a little bit today, dollar down, oil flat, pretty much all these guys are flat there. VIX is down about 9%. Let's stay with S&P. Spider, 65-minute chart here. So it looks like, you know, buyers did make that attempt to gap up here. So you can see this is where we closed yesterday. We gapped up right here. This is where it closed or opened. And then you see that upward wig, buyers attempted to make a run for it, but you know that gap, that down gap is that area is continue to act as resistance, right? We talked about on the last night's video that bears want to make sure this gap remains open, and with that, you know, we had that second try on the third hour, not able to get above this micro term resistance there. And then ever since then, it's just not able to find any kind of traction to the upside. Came back down, kind of retesting this vicinity right now. And that's with that, we printed negative numbers. So definitely, you know, buyers are not able to find any kind of traction, you know, and obviously currently in this short term, we are in the downtrend with the lower highs and lower lows. And with these gaps remaining open, and also my short-term moving average continue to, you know, move to the downside. We want to continue to give benefit of the doubt to the sellers in the short term. And with that, definitely not able to find any kind of traction to the upside and pulled back. Pretty much mixed day. I think at open, everything was green. And then towards the end of the day, you can see some red prints occurred towards the when the market was closed there. So pretty much same analysis of what we talked about on the last night's update. And these gaps, as long as these gaps remain open, it's going to make things very, very, very hectic for the buyers. Right now, buyers cannot just hang around because the short-term trend is down. Buyers need to make move fast, very, very fast move to come up here and fill this gap. The problem right now is that both of my short-term moving average and mid-term moving average guarding this level right here. So let's say buyers do bring it up. It's gonna be hard to fill this gap completely because of these moving average. They're gonna act as resistance like it did here, 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 here. So, you know, not filling the entirety of this gap, it's going to be bearish, right? So there's a lot of work cut out for the bulls, where the bears are, you know, seems to have that control in the short term of things. Let's zoom out a little bit. And again, nothing has changed. Currently, we're retesting the long-term moving average. If we lose this level here where we close, right? This is I could call it a micro-term support. That's a micro-term resistance here, right? So if we lose that, we're gonna come back down to retest 430-ish level. And if we lose 430, next level support, look, let's put that line that's that right here. We don't have a gap area until 415. Let me check that out here. Let's zoom in here. Yep, so that's 415 is the next gap area. And obviously we do have a next swing low at 422 here. So if we do lose this level of 430, that's where bears are going, is 422. So, you know, what the buyers want to do, want to hold this level, right? Maybe, you know, the best case scenario for the bulls, if we do see a price coming down, break below it, maybe, briefly, get bears to get excited for 422, and then for the buyers to get stopped out. And with those buyers who got in right here, right? These guys who got in right here, they probably placed their stop just underneath, Monday's low. So get them, get them stopped out, potentially doing something like this. But I'm getting too ahead of myself. So that's that I'm just telling you that there's a potentially some sort of trap. The reason why I say these stuff is because we're still in the long term, mid to long term uptrend, right? Yes, we are in a downtrend in the short term, but the long-term perspective, we are in an uptrend. So keep in mind, these kind of shenanigans can happen. As you can see, some of these levels where many people thought that that's the end of it. And you know how quickly market got back to the new all-time highs. You guys remember that, right? Because that's been the story this year. So we can't just dispute the fact that this market is still capable of doing something like this. I'm not favoring the bulls versus bears. I'm just looking at the overall big picture. If we're in a downtrend, big picture, right? We're in a bear market in the big picture. Yes, this looking very, very bearish. But when we're looking at a big picture in a bullish term, because we've seen these fluctuations, we're only down 5% from the lows. I mean, from the peak like 2 weeks ago. It's not a huge deal at this point. In the short term, we're just dealing with some of these short term, gap areas. So I think, again, 429 is where the bears need to break below and go after, 422. Keep in mind, some kind of trap might be happening there. Just know that might happen. Bulls need to fill this gap, entirety of it, as quickly as possible. Best case scenario, obviously gapping it over, turn it into an island bottom, but we're kind of far away. Is it far away? Maybe get up a little bit, but let's say, that's a little far. 1.9% gap up is pretty far. So maybe get up here and then maybe gap up next day. So today's Tuesday, so maybe get up here on Wednesday, kind of hang around here on Wednesday, and then Thursday gap up and then fill this gap, Friday or something like that. That might be the best case scenario for the bulls. But check out that oscillator. But I want to give benefit of the doubt to the sellers in the short term. In the micro term, pretty neutral, maybe bearish, neutral to bearish, because that's kind of what happened today, right? Today's price action tells us that this is pretty much neutral to bearish, right? Sideways, and then we kind of puked a little bit towards the end of the hour. So neutral to bearish in the micro term. Mid-term, like I said yesterday, I'm neutral to bearish in the mid-term. Long-term, we're bullish. Primary term, bullish. Macro, bullish. Secular, bullish, right? So let's check out that oscillator and see. Well, oscillators continues to see a separation advancement, despite the fact that we've been grinding lower all day today and not even able to fill this gap. I mean, we've seen some slight weakness sideways to lower type of price action today. Well, oscillator continues to stay. We're not even seeing any kind of cross down or any kind of a trajectory changing. But this is a neckline here. I put this line right here to signify, and I put in a green line there, what bulls. This is what I call neckline, the oscillator neckline, right? That's the potential lower high there on the oscillator. So what the bulls need to do, obviously get above it. And what bulls need to bring this all the way back up and pressure the bears and bring it all the way. I mean, if we do see something like this thing going all the way back up, you shall see this thing gap getting filled at that, unless, we see a gap over something like that. But as long as we're below this, trend is down, despite the fact that, I think this oscillator basically telling us in a minor term, there's a little bit of a buying pressure, right? There's that bullish candle right there, potentially a bull flag. But this potential bull flag, a possibility of that at best, only can be confirmed if we do see a breakout and if this thing goes like this tomorrow. That's the only way. Otherwise, this could just kind of puke down and retest a low there. Let's stick with a long-term outlook. but at the same time, know that we're gonna be in this hectic environment probably this remainder of this month until both of these gap gets filled. Let's embrace the fact that there might be further decline. Let's give benefit of the doubt to the sellers in the short term, micro term neutral at this point, unless we see a move, midterm bearish, neutral to bearish at this point. So tomorrow, we see a bull flagging playing out, or this thing comes right back down, retest at 429 there. I'll come back for you. We'll re-examine. Enjoy your evening and good luck trading tomorrow.